Okay, I think we'll start the webinar. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for dialing in and welcome to today's webinar covering digital AP1 submissions using Infotrac. By way of introduction, my name is Lisa Summerton and I'm Head of Strategic Partnerships here at Infotrac. I'm delighted to be joined today by my colleague, Haifa, who will pick up the question and answer session, Kelly, who will be running through the AP1 changes and Infotrac's platform offering, and Grant Sanders from Stephen Rimmer, who will give an overview of their experience of the new AP1 process and how they have adopted this in-house. And finally, George from LawNet, who will be joining us and available for any questions should you have any at the end. Just a little bit of housekeeping before I hand you over to Kelly. I'd like to draw your attention to the question and answer tab at the bottom of your screen. We will be running a Q&A session at the end, so please do type any questions you might have for Alex into the Q&A box. If you could include your name too, that would be great, as if we do run out of time or your question requires further clarification, we can then be sure to extract your information and follow up with you directly after the webinar. So just moving on now, I'm just going to give you a very brief overview before I pass over to Kelly. So you're probably aware in 2021, the Land Registry took a giant leap to moving away from paper-based processes and launched their electronic digital registration service, or as it's more commonly referred to now, EDRS. A huge number of applications have been received through the service already, with the largest land registry integrated partner being Infotrac. It's been shown that requisitions on basic errors are down by 30% and applications are processed and completed in half the time of an uploaded application, meaning law firms will save time and reduce risk. As mentioned earlier, from November of this year, the Land Registry will no longer accept scanned or PDF copies of AP1s for changes to existing titles via their portal. The good news for you, Infotrac has had a digitised AP1 solution in place for some time now, so a working solution is already available to you via our portal, so no one needs to reinvent the wheel. To date, we've had over 500,000 submissions that have gone through our AP1 solution. Through Infotrac, as you might be aware, we're also integrated with a huge proportion of CMS providers, and therefore, if you work with one of our integrated partners, our AP1 product, like all our other products, integrate straight back into the CMS platform. I'm now going to pass you to Kelly, who will walk you through the recent changes, what these mean, and the great features available through Infotrac. Kelly, over to you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. So my name's Kelly Cutler. I'm just going to take you through a very quick PowerPoint on the Land Registry changes, and then I'll jump into Infotrac's digital solution that we have. So I'm just going to turn my camera off. There we go. So as Lisa mentioned, and this has come direct from Land Registry, from November 2022, we will no longer accept scanned or PDF copies of AP1s for changes to existing titles using the Land Registry portal. Actually, currently up to 80% of AP1 submissions involve uploading physical paper documents. So what are the changes? So the electronic document registration service, otherwise known as the EDRS, are when a PDF or a scanned form are uploaded onto the system for it to be read and reviewed by a caseworker as part of a very manual process. The new digital registration service, known as the DRS, is when information is added in as data in predefined fields. Capturing it this way actually allows the system to read the data and check for any errors. So trying to move away from the EDRS to the DRS. So just a bit of background on why Land Registry are going digital. It's because of current manual process delays and costs. They receive high number of requisitions, high volume of support calls. So obviously there's long waits and poor service with that. A lack of requisition management tool, and obviously to protect the register's data integrity. So what does this mean for the industry? It means there'll be quicker processing times, digitalization of the process, online guidance and support for submissions, fewer errors and reduction in requisitions, and the opportunity for further innovation. So things a law firm needs to consider First off is change management. So obviously with change, there'll be challenges, and you want to get ahead of that change and not to get stuck in the backlog. You need to consider staff training catered to individuals and ongoing real-time support as well. And from a productivity point of view, again, registrations will be digital only. So again, no paper or PDF forms. There will be software, you've got to consider software suitability, so your integrations with your CMS, and the ability to directly liaise with the caseworkers. And then from a compliance point of view, an audit trail and how to report to regulators, full firm visibility of all matters, including requisition management tool and key dates automation as well. So the solutions are the new digital process through the Land Registry DRS service, or to use a Land Registry partner integrated through the business gateway like Infotrac. Just to give you some stats on Infotrac, we are Land Registry's key business partner and biggest user. We've been doing digital AP1 since 2016. We have 6 years of continuous software improvement. We reduce requisitions by up to 30%. And we do over 550,000 submissions a year. And I think that's nearing on 600,000 now. So what do digital AP1s by Infotrac look like? Well, you receive full guidance and expert support for every application. We have form flexibility, so you can do things like staircasing matters. We're integrated with leading CMS as well as lender panels. It's one-page form, pre-populated and linked to HMRC's SDLT5 and electronically signed deeds. And you get our unique AP1 dashboard with application overview, auditing tools, requisitions and cancellations. So looking ahead, we're going to continue to invest in more experts for additional support. We're going to continue to expand our integration partners. We're going to add new lender management panels, and we're going to continue to reinvest back into the system. And there's a testimonial for one of our long-standing clients who actually uses both our post-completion services, SDLT and AP1. So now I'm going to move on to walking you through Infotrac's end-to-end digital AP1 submission and management software. I'm just going to switch screens quickly. So AP1 can be found in the post-completion workflow up on the top ribbon here, naturally sitting behind the SDLT, where we similarly integrate with the HMRC, allowing you to digitally submit your stamp duty returns. And actually using both the post-completion services allows you to submit these in under 5 minutes. As I've mentioned, Infotrac released our AP1 product back in 2016, and we continue to work very closely with the Land Registry to develop the business gateway services across the Land Registry services. What you see here is our latest AP1 software, which has been built with the aim to make your post-completion process faster, more accurate, and reduce the potential for unnecessary requisitions. As I click into the AP1, what you're going to see here is our one-page smart interactive form. And like all Infotrac products, your matter reference tells us about information already contained within your matter. So depending on whether you're accessing Infotrac from your case management system or depending on the orders you've already placed with us, we'll populate up to 90% of that AP1 for you. I'm just going to pop in my matter reference there. It's really important in terms of the pre-population. You know, it reduces the time it takes to complete your AP1, removing the need to rekey information and reducing the potential for missed information as well. On this matter, I've already ordered a register and submitted my SDLT return. So as we work through the form, you'll be able to see how much information is already pre-populated for you. All required fields are asterisk, so you won't be able to submit your application with missing information. Registration type is our first required field. So for Land Registry portal customers, you should be used to selecting the registration type. But if you're unsure as to the registration type relevant to your application, you can head over to our FAQs for definitions, plus lots of other AP1s, tips and tricks. Today, we're going to be running through a simple discharge, transfer and charge application affecting the whole of the title. So dealing is the relevant registration type. Our title number has already pre-populated over, but we are able to add on further titles using this button here. We'll also verify the titles automatically for you, showing the address and if there's any pending registration status. So that obviously reduces the risk of cancellation for your application due to an invalid title. As I scroll down, you'll see that we've already pre-populated the local authority and the postcode for you. So we can now move on to selecting the priority applications we're looking to change the register with. All you need to simply do is select the drop down to see the wide range of application types easily identifiable with their form code and description. We also organise applications into common form bundles for you, making it quick and easy to select common applications like discharge, transfer and charge. And just like most forms, our AP1 form is about working left to right, top to bottom, and reviewing the information from your file and documents and completing the relevant fields. So we also integrate with our Sign It for Deeds product as well. So where your deeds have been electronically signed, on selecting yes, we'll automatically look for and upload your conveyancer certificate into supporting documents for you. If your deeds are not signed electronically, you can simply upload them here and confirm their certification. Obviously, through your integration with your case management, you'll be able to select the files associated with that matter only. If you need to move the order in which your application type should be registered or removed from the title, you can simply drag and drop. There's no limit on the number of applications you can submit in one AP1. And if you can't find the application that matches your deed, you can simply select AP1, change the register, upload your deed and proceed to the next section. Just move further down the form. You'll notice that we've automatically calculated your lead application fee using the pre-populated consideration value from your SDLT submission here. So no need for a fee scale or a calculator. And as I move further down, you'll notice here that we'll automatically attach your SDLT5 as well, reducing the risk of it being forgotten and a requisition being raised. Here in supporting documents, you'll be able to upload any supporting file like consent forms, power of attorneys, countersigned documents, and so on in one place. On the right-hand side, we've added some handy guidance when completing the sections plus tips to help reduce common requisitions. So for new users that may be starting to submit without any prior knowledge of the paper AP1, these guides can really help users better understand the sections and the land registry's requirements. Now we're going to move on to the party details. So here we've split what traditionally was panel 13 into 3 manageable sections: applicants, proprietors, and other parties. As missing or incorrect party information is a common cause of requisitions, we wanted to group information in a way where you can move through the sections consciously, ticking off the required fields from left to right without having to jump around the form or click through multiple pages. As you can see here, the majority of the work is done for us. The applicant's name and your details as the lodging conveyancer are already pre-populated, and we can also complete the applicant's role field because you've told us that you're lodging a transfer and a charge. All that we need to do here is simply enter in the lender's details. So as I start to type, we'll suggest relative banks and populate their address for service 2. We can also confirm our details as the lodging conveyancer. So if your firm's process is for support staff to create the AP1s and then conveyancers lodge the application, you can simply select the lodging conveyancer from a list of users within your firm here. And if you need to update their contact details, you can do so here as well. Now we're going to move on to the proprietor section. We call it this because we know that there is a transfer being lodged. And so a registered proprietor will be a transferor. As we've ordered the register on the matter, we're able to populate the proprietor's names here. We're also able to populate the conveyancer's details for the SDLT submission, and again, associate the borrower roles for the discharge application and transferor for the transfer. All I need to do is add in the lender's name. If there are any other parties within the application, they can be entered under this section. Simply select the drop down. So if you have a power of attorney or anything like that, you can simply select the party role. And as you'll notice, as we've built the form, your left-hand panel here will update with key information, and that's helped you to review the information supplied as you go, and you can jump in and out of each section. So then we move down to the associates application. So the task is basically to similarly review the application. So we have the two borrowers and the lender for the discharge, the transferee and the two transferors for the TR1, and the borrower and the lender for the new charge. All that's left to do is to complete the address for service for the applicants. You can enter the address for service for each proprietor yourself, including their postal, email or DX address. Disclosable overriding interest is defaulted to no for ease, and again to speed up the time it takes to complete the form. Here is what I like to call an integration within an integration. So if you are integrated with us for LMS, for mortgage offers, you can link your application to your LMS case number and will automatically send them your submission receipt and then completion of registration details once your application is complete. So no need to go off to another website to update that. Then we've got our notes section. So this is a fully flexible form. So any information you need to let your caseworker know about, you can put that in this notes section here. We do also integrate with our MR01 lodgement software, and we'll pre-populate the certification wording straight into the notes section for you here as well. Finally, here at the bottom of the form is where you can confirm your credentials used to submit the application. These should be stored in your Infotrac settings, but on occasions where your Land Registry EDRS account changes, so you may have updated your password, you can update them here as well. And finally, you can also include any third-party recipient information here for all correspondence about the application. You can simply select a colleague from the drop-down or select other user to manually enter the details here. On save and print, we'll populate a paper AP1 form for you, so it'll be a form that you are familiar with. And we'll of course send you an email over or send the file back down to your case management. Or you can submit straight to HMLR. So now I'm going to head over to our dashboard. So like most products on Infotrac, we have like a big brother overview of those core products. So with your AP1, you have our AP1 dashboard. You can filter through those using the ribbon at the top, looking at requisition outstanding, requisition acknowledged, and so on. You can also put all these submissions into a CSV file and filter through those as well. I'm just going to go on one where we've got a requisition outstanding. So you'll have the AP1 that's been lodged. You can check the day list for any pending registrations. You can look at any of the related documents associated to the AP1. And finally, at the back here as well, you can add any additional recipients. What we have here essentially is a WhatsApp style chat with your caseworker. So you've received your submission receipt and any requisitions can come in here. But we have some handy little features, such as if you need to update any internal notes and let a colleague know that this is being dealt with, you can do. You can request HMLR action. So if you want an update, if you need it to be expedited or a cancellation, that can be done through here. And you'll notice the FAQs on every screen as well, just to help you along the way. And finally, actually responding to the requisition. We've got this handy feature, regenerate details. We know panel 13 can be a real pain point, and you know, spelling mistakes or the wrong party role, etc., that may have been put in. So what you can do is make the amendments here. So it may be that it's, you know, Wayne David, and what that will do is that will make the amendment and it will put it in a format we know the Land Registry is going to accept. So that's preventing further requisitions. You can add any additional parties. You can remove them. You can upload any documents as well. But this fully this is free text, so any information you need to let the caseworker know or responding to a requisition, you can just free type into this box here. So along with the dashboard, you also get the calendar. So if I look them up ahead, so you can be super organised. You can look at any AP1 cancellations and OS priority expiries as well. So that is Infotrac's solution. I'm now going to pass you over to Grant.
Thanks, Kelly. As Lisa mentioned, I'm going to talk through the old process that we had here, the new process with the integration with Infotrac, the training that's been provided by Infotrac, and then lastly, the dashboard. So our old process was that was quite cumbersome, really, and involved trying to key in the information into an OEA form, saving that as a PDF, then saving that to desktop usually, then into the CMS, and then finally uploading that to the land registry. On average, I think depending on the complexity, it took sort of 7 to 10 minutes per application. There was also some data protection issues, storage issues about various copies of various forms being saved locally on desktops, client files, before saving it to the CMS centrally. So we couldn't be 100% sure at any one time we were using the latest version. And then when we got any requisitions back following the receipt from the land registry, that would go direct to the applicant's inbox rather than now to a nice shared area. The new process, we've integrated it with our CMS, with Infotrac, and gets a lot of information pulled through now, which has reduced the need for rekeying. Completed AP1s can then be uploaded straight to HMLR, as you've seen. So on average, we think 4 to 5 minutes per transaction, depending on complexity again. We've opened about 2,000 conveyancing files in the last 6 months. So looking at that as a potential time saving, that's 160 hours or over a month in time, allowing our users to focus on case progression rather than the admin of putting through the forms. The one account that everyone can access has been really useful. The messaging is really clear, as you've seen. It's easy to follow the exchanges between the land registry and the users, and you can, as you've seen, you can pick up notes from other people. The validations and the form logic has reduced our requisitions, we think, by about similar 30%, as was mentioned. We also use the LMS integration, which is really just a simple tick box in the dashboard. That adds further time savings and also cuts down on chases from them. I also hear you might be looking at lender exchange in the future, which would be really happy about. The training provided by Infotrac has been really good, always been really helpful when it comes to timings, so it suits our team. And you can do them, well, we've been offered, you can do them one-on-one, or you can do them as groups. Kelly's mentioned that change is the hardest part of anything. And it's but been really, really beneficial working with Infotrac with the training and the simplicity as well. It removes all the barriers that people see that a change might be an issue, but actually when they can see it in practice and they see how simple it is to use and how intuitive it is, that takes a lot of that way. And then for the firm on the call, so having that dashboard is again really useful for our internal measures and controls. Gives us great MI, post-completion, requisitions, calendar you've seen. I even get a report to say what the usage is like and even the number of calls to the help desk. We've seen that this has helped us with our PII renewals and our accreditations with CQS, Lexel and ISO. Well, that's it from me, Kelly.
Oh, hi. Yeah, so thank you so much for that, Grant. I'll take over from here. I will be jumping straight into the Q&A session. I can see we've had a few questions. So first question that we have here is, am I limited in the type of applications I can submit?
So no, you can submit a whole host of applications just as long as they correspond with the chosen registration type.
Perfect. Can I lodge complex applications via Infotrac's AP1?
So absolutely, we have a wide range of application types, including portfolio of transfers and charges and shared ownership staircasing.
Can I lodge first registrations digitally?
We get that one a lot. No, the land registry still require that first registrations are submitted by the post because there's no title number that's been generated.
Okay, thank you. And the final question we have is, how do I know whether I have EDRS credentials?
So you just need to check your land registry account, which is located in the top right-hand corner in settings, where you can find it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering that one, Kelly. So yeah, that's all the questions that we have today. If anyone did have any further questions, please do submit them. And I would just like to round this off by saying thank you to Kelly, Lisa and Grant for joining us on this webinar today. I hope you all found this session very helpful and informative. If you have any other questions about anything you've learned today, then please either contact us by telephone or reach out to your account manager, who will be able to assist you. Or you can also use the details on the screen to reach out to us. This session is being recorded and we will send you a copy so you can refer back to it. All that's left to say now is thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.